caught him with 2,600 votes. No, we caught him cold.
Well, that was former President Trump at a rally earlier this week in Pennsylvania, spreading accusations of cheating in the election. Election officials there deny his claims. And then someone set fire to ballots in and around Portland, Oregon, destroying hundreds of ballots in those boxes.
So between conspiracy theories, misinformation, and those burning ballot boxes, you might be wondering what's being done to secure your vote. Now, we haven't had reports of any ballot box security issues here in the DMV, but 7 News reporter Joy Wang is live in Fairfax County because you're asking election officials there what they're doing to make sure those ballots stay safe.
Yeah, that's right. 7 News on your side, answering some of your questions and concerns. I mean, here in Fairfax County, 745,000 registered voters. This is the largest jurisdiction in the state of Virginia. And I'm standing right next to one of these official ballot drop boxes here. In fact, this one at the most popular early voting site here in Fairfax County. You can see it has signs saying any tampering with ballots or the drop box is a crime. There are also padlocks on the side as well, and this is under video surveillance. And that's not all. Again, at this most popular early voting location in Fairfax County, the Government Center, ballots are retrieved multiple times a day. 2 election officials then transport the ballots collected from drop boxes in sealed containers to the Office of Elections. Then each transfer step is documented, ensuring every absentee ballot is accounted for and properly stored. Fairfax County General Registrar tells me they've been preparing for this election since before the last election. And if people have concerns, they can get answers straight from the source.
Call our office, look at our website, or email us. That's best. Always come to us.
Now, as Election Day approaches, officials say that they are confident that your ballot is secured. By the way, when it comes to those voting machines, there aren't any sort of like modem, Wi-Fi capabilities, ability to connect Bluetooth and again, Wi-Fi. And that means that there's no ability to be able to hack those voting machines remotely, no ability to tamper those machines remotely. And so those are just a number of steps that have been taken to make sure that this election is secure. We've got more details up on WJLA.com in terms of what's being done, not just here at these ballot drop-off boxes, but also as they count your vote. Live in Fairfax, Joy Wang, 7 News.
Some great things to remember as we see those claims undoubtedly circulate on social media in the coming days. Joy, thanks. So Maryland's Attorney General is issuing a cease and desist letter to stop alleged voter intimidation. The AG's office including this letter from the Center for Voting Information and the Voter Participation Center based in D.C. I got one of these in my mailbox yesterday. So the AG says these letters claim to be voting report cards sent out to Maryland residents, and it identifies whether the recipients voted in each of the last 4 elections and then compares the voting history to the records of their neighbors. It also warns the center will review the records after the election to determine whether you and your neighbors voted. Well, the Maryland AG is ordering the organizations to stop sending those letters. He also says it's a crime to willingly influence a voter's decision through a use of force.
As Vice President Harris and former President Trump prepare to rally supporters in Wisconsin today, Trump is facing backlash for comments he has made about protecting women.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
So that was Trump at a rally on Wednesday, and when discussing abortion, Trump has been saying he would protect women and make sure they wouldn't be thinking about abortion. And now Trump is saying former independent candidate for president Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has endorsed Trump, will work on women's health if Trump wins.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. we have. And he's going to work on health and women's health and all of the different reasons, because we're not really a wealthy or a healthy country.
Vice President Harris was quick to respond to Trump, saying RFK Jr. will work on women's health. On X, Harris simply posted no with the heart emoji. And at her rally in Phoenix yesterday, Harris doubled down on her criticism of Trump's comments about women's health.
He does not believe women should have the agency and authority to make decisions about their own bodies. He simply does not respect the freedom of women or the intelligence of women.
Well, both campaigns claim the other will not protect women if elected, as both fight to win over women voters.
So in the final days of the campaign, former President Trump will be in Virginia for a rally tomorrow. It's happening in Salem. That's in the southwest part of the state. Now, Now, it's a move some are questioning since polls show Vice President Harris is leading by several points in the Commonwealth. Now, polling data from 538 shows Harris has a 6-point lead over Trump in Virginia. This is a much wider margin than in the swing states where candidates are traditionally focused on their efforts in the days leading up to the election. Our sister station in Lynchburg reports that former Liberty University president and Trump supporter Jerry Falwell Jr. worked for months to try and bring a Trump campaign rally to Virginia.
Early voting ends this weekend in our area. Tomorrow is the last day of early voting in Virginia, Sunday for D.C., and early voting ended yesterday in Maryland.
Now, we have everything you need to know about voting in the DMV on WJLA.com and on our 7 News app. Just scan that QR code you see on the screen to see our election guide. And on election night, we'll have frequent updates during ABC News special coverage. We'll also have continuing local election coverage on our 24/7 channel starting at 8:30. Well, Danielle, thank you. It is your voice, your vote. And over the next 4 days leading up to the election, you're going to hear a lot about these 7 swing states that the candidates will be crisscrossing up until Election Day. So what I have for you here is the electoral prediction map. So I've highlighted all of the states in red and blue that the polls suggest are likely going to be won by Trump and Harris. So the states that you see not filled in right now are those 7 swing states where the polls have it things very close. Now, I want to take you through 2 different scenarios that, although they are unlikely, they are plausible, and we want to talk about what happens if that plays out. So I'm going to hand Nevada and Arizona to Kamala Harris, sorry about that, and also Georgia and Wisconsin. So what you see here is if I give those remaining states, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina to Trump, we are going to end up, I actually did that wrong, Georgia and Wisconsin. So there's 2 scenarios here where we can play out where it ends up North Carolina with a 269 to 269 tie. I haven't got that here now, so I don't know why that's not playing out. But there are 2 different situations here where that could happen. So what happens in the event of a 269 to 269 tie? I'm going to actually get that straight, Adriana, and we'll figure that out. But there are 2 situations here where that could play out, where both candidates get 269 with some of these swing states. Isn't likely to happen, but it is still a possibility it could.
All right, well, let's bring in Peter Loge, the Associate Professor of Media and Public Affairs at George Washington University, for insight this morning. And Peter, it's always great to have you here with us. I know you were listening to Adam there. So what happens if there is a tie in the Electoral College on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning?
Well, as Adam said, it's incredibly unlikely. By the way, shout out to the coverage of the election workers, really important work. In the incredibly unlikely event there's a tie, the vote goes to the House of Representatives. Each state delegation gets 1 vote. At this point, 26 states have more Republican members of the House than Democrats. 22 states are controlled by Democrats. They each get 1 vote. We'll see what happens. It's also important to note that the vote for the president comes after the new Congress is sworn in, so that 26 and 22 number could change.
All right. Well, 3 years ago, we know Trump and his team argued then Vice President Mike Pence had the power to interfere with the counting of electoral votes because the law names the VP as the presiding officer over the joint session of Congress where those votes are counted. What has changed between then and now, especially since the vice president is running for office?
You know, that's a really good question. That law from last time was rooted in the 1800s. It was updated as part of an omnibus budget bill a couple of years ago. Right now, the vice president's role is entirely ceremonial. They gavel it in, they gavel it out. And Vice President Harris could be in this situation where she oversees her own loss, just as Vice President Gore did in 2000 when he oversaw the election being handed to his opponent, George Bush.
All right, Peter Loge, the George Washington University. Always great having you. We'll see you back here in studio on Wednesday morning.
Looking forward to it.
All right, now, of course, we can't have a smooth, safe, and secure election without our election workers. 7 News reporter Joy Wang live with us in Fairfax County. So, Joy, there's one election worker there celebrating a major milestone this year.
Yeah, we are talking about 89-year-old Pauline Gearhart. This is actually one of her 85th election is what she's saying when it comes to just how many that she has been a part of, because there can be, you know, multiple a year. But we want to talk a little bit more about how she started all of this in the first place. She said she was 5 years old. She went with her mom, and that was kind of it. She started to really fall in love with that election process and being able to help out. And that is not all. A lot of times she sees the same people over and over again when she's been working these elections for decades. In fact, one of her favorite parts, giving them a sticker, because she says they get so excited when they see that sticker. Also, this is a mother and daughter tradition. It is continuing because her daughter Beth is the chief election officer at her precinct. Gearhart spoke with our Michelle Marsh, saying she enjoys helping people and that she cast her first vote in 1956.
How much longer do you think you'll be doing this?
Well, until I'm pulling the dirt over.
Thank you to the Gearharts. Now to the youngest election worker. Lake Braddock High School senior Allison Sejas turns 18 this weekend. Says she's motivated to work on election day because of what she's learning in government class.
My teacher is making us do currently a role play of the elections, and we're learning the difference between Democrat and Republicans and liberals and conservatives and all that, and it just really got me interested.
When asked what message she has to other people her age, she says, get involved. This next generation, they are next in line, and whether big or small will make a difference in this country. Live in Fairfax, Joy Wang, 7 News.
Joy, thank you. 7 News is your election headquarters. We have everything you need to know about voting in the DMV on WJLA.com and on our 7 News app. Just scan the QR code you see on your screen to see our election guide. And on election night, we'll have frequent updates during ABC News special coverage. We'll also have your local election coverage on our 24/7 channel starting at 8:30.